Two ingredients, 50 cents total. One sitting in your medicine cabinet right now, the other available at any Walmart, Kroger, or Whole Foods for under $2. And together, in a specific ratio that takes under 90 seconds to prepare, they will clean your ears more deeply, more safely, and more completely than anything your doctor's office has ever charged you for. Not a gadget from a late-night infomercial, not a $45 professional-grade ear cleaning kit from Amazon with a silicone tip and a lifetime guarantee. Not a clinic visit with a copay and a parking fee on top. 50 cents. A dropper, 5 minutes lying on your couch. The audiologists in your city charging $150 per ear irrigation visit know this combination works. The ENT clinics selling $89 ear cleaning kits at checkout know it works. And the $3.2 billion earwax removal industry, which has grown every single year for the past 2 decades right here in America, has a very specific, very financially motivated reason for making sure you never learn how to do this at home for free. This method is 1,400 years old. It was practiced across 6 civilizations before a single American corporation existed to profit from your ears. And it was quietly buried the moment a few large companies realized there was no way to put a patent on something that grows in the ground. Let's be direct about something uncomfortable. There is a $3.2 billion industry in this country built entirely around a problem your own body creates, earwax, and a solution that costs 50 cents at any CVS or Walgreens. That gap does not exist by accident. The over-the-counter ear care market, dominated by brands you've seen on pharmacy shelves your entire life, Debrox, Murine, Eosera, Clinary, is not selling you chemistry. They are selling you the illusion that the chemistry requires them. The active compound in nearly every commercial earwax softener sitting in the ear care aisle right now is carbamide peroxide, a molecule that, the moment it contacts moisture, breaks down into hydrogen peroxide and urea, hydrogen peroxide. The brown bottle in your medicine cabinet, the one your mom used on your scraped knee when you were 7, the one that cost 99 cents at Dollar General, they took that, diluted it, put it in a precision dropper with a clinical label, marked it up 4,000%, and shelved it next to reading glasses so it feels like something that requires a professional recommendation. And mustard oil, the carrier, the lubricant, the ancient delivery mechanism that makes this combination extraordinarily effective, was quietly labeled non-standard, unverified, and traditional use only by the industry. Not because it doesn't work, because it cannot be patented, because it grows in a field, because no Fortune 500 company can put a trademark on a seed pressed in a mill. What was taken from you has 2 names, and you're about to get them back. 1,400 years before the first American pharmaceutical company incorporated, before the first ENT clinic opened in a strip mall next to a Subway, before Johnson & Johnson started selling cotton swabs and then quietly printing "do not insert into ear canal" on the back of the box, healers across 6 distinct civilizations had independently arrived at the same conclusion. Warm oil introduced gently into the ear canal, combined with a bubbling, oxygenating agent, was the most effective method ever discovered for dissolving hardened cerumen, eliminating microbial growth, and restoring hearing clarity. This was not folk medicine whispered around a fire. This was documented, institutionalized, prescribed medical practice, written down, taught in formal training, and administered by the equivalent of licensed physicians in every culture that used it. In the Ashtanga Hridayam, one of the foundational texts of Ayurvedic medicine compiled by the physician Vagbhata around 600 CE, drawing on oral traditions stretching back to 600 BCE, the practice of Karna Purana is described. Warm medicated oil, held in the ear canal for a prescribed duration, was recommended not only for wax removal, but for tinnitus, progressive hearing loss, and jaw tension. The oil of choice across northern and western India, cold-pressed mustard oil, valued specifically for its viscosity, its penetrating warmth, and its powerful antimicrobial properties. Karna Purana was not a grandmother's remedy. It was a clinical protocol, formally taught in Indian medical academies, administered seasonally, especially before winter. Hippocrates, writing around 400 BCE, described irrigation of the ear using warm liquids to soften and remove obstructions. But it was the Roman physician Aulus Cornelius Celsus who documented the specific use of warm plant oil. The oil softened the wax mass so that water flushing could complete removal without traumatizing the canal wall. Celsus described using oils pressed from plants with high erucic acid content. Here is where it gets remarkable. Archaeologists excavating the site of a Roman military garrison in northern England, the Vindolanda Fort, discovered a cache of thin wooden writing tablets dating to 85,130 CE. These include supply inventory lists maintained by Roman garrison physicians. Among them are references to pungent plant-pressed oils stored in ceramic vessels for medical use. Roman soldiers stationed in cold, damp Britain were dealing with the same ear problems Americans deal with today. They solved them with the same 2 compounds available at your local Kroger. Ibn Sina, known in the West as Avicenna, documented ear canal treatment in the Canon of Medicine, completed around 1025 CE. This text was the standard medical reference until the 17th century. Ibn Sina described a two-stage protocol: warm oil first to soften cerumen, then a diluted oxygenating rinse to complete dissolution and kill invisible organisms causing putrefaction. He identified mustard family oils as the most effective carriers, noting their penetrating warmth. A description we now understand refers to allyl isothiocyanate. Among the Yoruba of present-day Nigeria and Benin, traditional Onisagun, herbalist physicians, used warm plant oils combined with fermented liquids containing oxygenating compounds. British colonial medical officers in the late 19th century documented these practices, dismissing them as primitive, while recording that the results were consistently effective. In the Ishinpo, Japan's oldest surviving medical text, ear canal maintenance using warm oil followed by gentle irrigation is described in detail. 6 civilizations, 3 continents, 14 centuries of consistent, documented cross-cultural practice. No shared pharmaceutical industry, just the same chemistry, reached independently. It took American corporations less than 60 years to erase what the ancient world spent 14 centuries confirming. Here's exactly what happens inside your ear canal. Earwax, cerumen, is not a single uniform substance. It is an emulsified mixture of long-chain fatty acids, squalene, cholesterol esters, alcohols, and shed skin cells. As it ages and compresses, pushed progressively deeper by cotton swabs, earbuds, and AirPods, it becomes a dense, hydrophobic plug that water alone cannot penetrate. Cold-pressed mustard oil contains erucic acid, alpha-linolenic acid, and allyl isothiocyanate. At body temperature, it becomes a near-perfect lipid solvent for aged cerumen. The fatty acid chains in the oil are chemically similar to earwax, similar enough that the oil begins actively emulsifying the wax matrix, dissolving it from the interior outward. Simultaneously, the allyl isothiocyanate disrupts the cell membranes of bacteria and fungi found in patients presenting with external ear canal infections. When 3% hydrogen peroxide contacts the warm, wax-softened environment, it undergoes decomposition, 2H2O2 to 2H2O plus O2. The oxygen gas released is the mechanism. The effervescence you feel physically disrupts the now softened wax, fragmenting it into particles small enough to drain naturally. It also creates a pH shift hostile to biofilms. A 2013 study in the Journal of Laryngology and Otology found that oil pretreatment followed by peroxide performed comparably to prescribed pharmaceutical drops. It's not standard care because it's free. Debrox, the best-selling eardrop brand in the United States, uses 6.5% carbamide peroxide, which when it decomposes yields approximately 2.2% hydrogen peroxide. Standard 3% hydrogen peroxide delivers more active compound than the product Americans are paying $12 to $18 a bottle for at checkout. The American ear care market alone was valued at over $900 million in 2023. The global market hit $3.2 billion. This is an industry built on a bodily function. It grows every year not because ears are getting worse, but because the industry successfully spent decades medicalizing a maintenance process that humans managed independently for 14 centuries. This was not an accident of progress. This was a deliberate, multi-decade, multi-mechanism campaign. Johnson & Johnson introduced Q-tips in 1923, originally marketed as general-purpose applicators for baby care. By the 1950s, American advertising had firmly repositioned them as ear-cleaning tools. Images of people inserting Q-tips into their ears ran in magazines, on television, in department store displays across the country. The result was medically catastrophic and financially brilliant. Cotton swabs pushed wax deeper, compacting it against the tympanic membrane, creating the very impaction problem that ENT clinics now charge $150 to $300 per visit to treat. Every Q-tip box sold in America today carries a printed warning, "Do not insert swab into ear canal." That warning arrived only after the impaction epidemic became impossible to deny. Decades of marketing the product that manufactured the problem. Decades of clinic revenue from treating the problem. One company on both ends. When carbamide peroxide was identified as an effective cerumenolytic in the 1960s, the American pharmaceutical response was not public education. It was product development. Debrox, launched by Marion Laboratories and later acquired by GlaxoSmithKline, trademarked the formulation, patented the dropper tip, and positioned the product as a clinical-grade treatment categorically distinct from household hydrogen peroxide. The American consumer was taught to see the brown bottle and the blue Debrox box as fundamentally different products. They are not. The price difference between them is approximately 3,800% for equivalent chemistry. In 1976, the FDA ruled mustard oil was not generally recognized as safe for dietary use, based on high-dose animal studies of erucic acid. Though limited to ingestion, this discouraged its broader use. Companies avoided it, favoring mineral oil products that were easier to commercialize and profit from. By the 1980s, U.S. audiology training largely removed home oil-based treatments, focusing instead on billable clinical procedures. As a result, few physicians recommended low-cost home care. Over time, many people spent hundreds on earwax treatments and visits, despite simple solutions costing only a few dollars and being effective when used properly. 14 centuries, 6 civilizations, Avicenna's canon, Vagbhata's Ayurvedic protocols, a Roman garrison physician stockpiling oil along Hadrian's Wall, a Yoruba healer in West Africa arriving at the same answer with no knowledge of Rome, a 2013 peer-reviewed study quietly confirming what all of them already knew. Here are the 2 ingredients. Hydrogen peroxide, 3% USP grade, available at every CVS, Walgreens, Walmart, Target, Kroger, Dollar General, and Dollar Tree in America. Price, 99 cents to $1.49. Cold-pressed mustard oil, available at Indian grocery stores, Pakistani and Middle Eastern markets, and increasingly at Whole Foods, Sprouts, and the international aisle of major supermarkets. Online at Amazon under brands like Dabur, Kama Ayurveda, or Pure Indian Foods. Price, $5 to $8 for a bottle that will last you 1 to 2 years of weekly treatments. Total first purchase cost, under $10. Cost per treatment, approximately 6 cents. Step 1. Warm the mustard oil. Pour 2 teaspoons of cold-pressed mustard oil into a small glass. Set that glass in a bowl of warm tap water for 3 to 4 minutes. Target temperature, 98-100 degrees, body temperature. Test it on the inside of your wrist like you would a baby bottle. It should feel like nothing, neither warm nor cool against your skin. This step is non-negotiable. Cold oil introduced into the ear canal triggers the caloric reflex, a vestibular response that causes sudden disorienting dizziness. Americans end up in urgent care every year from this. Warm the oil. Step 2. Set up your position. Lie on your side on a couch or bed with a folded towel under your head. The ear you're treating faces the ceiling. Have your dropper, your warmed oil, and your hydrogen peroxide within reach. Step 3. Introduce the mustard oil. Using a clean eardropper, available for under $2 at any pharmacy, introduce 4 to 5 drops of warmed mustard oil into the upward-facing ear. You'll feel it pool in the canal. That is exactly correct. Stay on your side. Set a timer for 4 minutes. The oil is penetrating the wax matrix, beginning the emulsification process, and delivering antimicrobial compounds to any bacterial or fungal presence in your canal. Step 4. Add the hydrogen peroxide. Without lifting your head, add 3 to 4 drops of 3% hydrogen peroxide directly into the same ear on top of the oil layer. Within seconds, sometimes immediately, you will hear it. A soft crackling, a gentle bubbling sensation deep in the canal. That is pure oxygen being liberated as the peroxide contacts organic matter. If you have significant wax buildup, the bubbling will be vigorous and audible. If your ears are relatively clear, it will be subtle. Both are completely normal. Stay on your side for 6 to 8 minutes. Do not rush this step. Step 5. Drain and rinse. Sit up slowly, give yourself 5 seconds, and tilt your head to let the mixture drain onto the towel. You may see wax fragments in the drainage, yellow, tan, dark brown, occasionally almost black if buildup has been accumulating for years. That is the procedure working. If desired, follow with a gentle rinse using a rubber bulb syringe filled with body temperature water, available at any Walgreens for $3. Tilt, squeeze gently, let drain. Repeat the entire process on the other side. Weekly treatment for 1 month can clear earwax buildup, followed by monthly maintenance. A 54-year-old man with hearing loss and tinnitus saw full improvement after 6 weeks using a low-cost method with oil and hydrogen peroxide. His symptoms resolved, avoiding expensive professional treatments. However, this approach is not safe for those with ear infections, perforated eardrums, recent surgery, or severe symptoms. Medical advice is essential in such cases. Historically, similar methods were used across cultures for centuries. Despite this, modern systems often favor costly treatments. For routine earwax issues, this simple, inexpensive process can be an effective solution when used appropriately and safely.